It's been a while since I made one of these tutorials, but hey, it's a new year, a new start. Let's go ahead and get a quick short toot out of the way. So here in Photoshop, there's a lot of automated tasks. And so what I want to show you is how to take a couple different shots and stitch them together without really doing anything. Let Photoshop do all the work. So first, let's take a look at the pictures. Here I have a series of images that I took in Albuquerque. Let me go ahead and shrink this down so you can take a look at it. Kind of made myself like a little tripod. I took a couple shots, panning this mountain view here. And so I want to take these and stitch them together and make this really nice panoramic shot. I have a tendency to go ahead and do this every time I'm out and about taking shots with my camera. I try to have these panoramic images. Anyways, to get started, we're going to go ahead and start this automated task here in Photoshop. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the File menu, and under Automate, we're going to select Photomerge. From here, we're going to select some files, hit the Browse button, and we'll navigate to the right location. Here on my desktop, I have a folder called Panoramic. There you are. And I'm going to go ahead and shift click on all these to select them and add them to my Photomerge. From here, we have these different types of layouts. And I'm kind of lazy about this. I usually let Photoshop figure it out, but there's different types of arrangements, if you will, when Photoshop does this Photomerge task. For example, I believe it's going to use perspective and kind of stitch them together across. If you took a series of pictures, vertically and horizontally, you can do a collage and that'll stitch them together. But anyways, again, I'm lazy, leave it on auto. I'm gonna click OK. And that's basically it. You just let Photoshop work its magic. It's gonna go ahead and take those photos, put them together. It's gonna look for these similarities. So you wanna make sure that when you take a series of photos, they kind of overlap each other. Not only that, it's gonna go ahead and take them, stitch them together and do some blending. So a lot of times when you're taking photos, especially outdoors, the light hits your lens differently, and so one photo will be lighter than the other, and so Photoshop does this for us. And so here you'll see that it's already kind of stitched together, and now it's going to go through the blending process and make it look seamless. So I'll be quiet here for two seconds. All right, so there you go. Look at that nice photo. So I'm going to zoom in so you can take a look at it. And right now I'm at 48%. I'm going to go ahead and start panning across. It does a pretty good job. There will be some areas where you need to do some fixing, but you know what? It wouldn't be Photoshop unless you have to do something with it. So there's a little mistake there. But for the most part, it looks pretty darn good. Now I'm using Photoshop CS5, so the beauty behind this is that, typically what I would do is you see these edges here. Let me zoom out real quick. So these edges here, what I would tend to do is kind of crop it out. Since Photoshop CS5.5, there's been this new content aware filling, and this is almost like magic. It fills in those voided space even though there's nothing there. So check this out. I'm gonna go to my layers panel. I'm gonna go ahead and merge these together. Command Shift E or Control Shift E, whatever operating system you're using. So there it is. I'm going to go ahead and do a Control or Command click on the thumbnail in the layers panel. That selects all visible pixels or just whatever content you have in that layer. Then I'm going to go ahead and do an inverse selection. Select inverse. Where are you? There you are. And it's selected these outside transparent pixels. Then I'm going to use Photoshop again to fill in that gap. So edit, fill, my new favorite thing, content aware fill. Click OK. Let it work its magic. Two more seconds. And my machine is screaming. There you go. Look at that. It took areas of the photo and kind of touched up, filled in those gaps, even though it wasn't there. Let me deselect it and you'll see it did a pretty good job. Again, we can fix this up by using another tool, the Content Aware Healing tool, to fix it up. Let me just show you an example of that. It's the Band-Aid tool. And I'll go ahead and scroll across here. It looks kind of choppy. Increase the brush size and paint over it. And there you go. It cleaned it up. It looks pretty seamless. Unless you know where to look, you'll probably never see this. A couple more spots and that looks pretty good. So again, if you have a lot of photos you take in succession, you can stitch them back together, make this really nice pano shot. Don't crop out the edges because Content Aware will fill in those voided spaces. Once you have it filled in, we can go ahead and take our Content Aware Healing brush, fix those unsightly patches, and make our photo complete. So a little quick tip for the new year.